I recently dropped 3 videos on League of Legends where I play a champion. At the very end of the video, I critique it, and they did really well in terms of views and likes. So today we'll be doing this with nidalee. I'll probably turn this into a series, assuming people keep watching it. And if this is what people want to watch, I'll keep producing it. But let's begin. So for my first game, I was pretty lucky because I had to go do some chores, but the enemy team did end up surrendering. I am assuming because they had to remake. But for game two, which would technically be my first game, but we'll just say it's game two. I started off on red buff, and it took me a second to realize that. Actually, as a matter of fact, it took me a few games to realize how to properly clear with nidalee, because at first it's kind of confusing because the main thing that you need to be doing is switching between cougar form and nidalee form, and I actually almost died to raptors this game. Shortly after farming for a few minutes, I saw Jax in my jungle, and I decided to chase him. Of course, that's not really a good idea, at least not as a first time nidalee, because I got outplayed. I'm not gonna lie. I got outplayed. I did end up avenging myself. Fizz and Kill showed up, and we killed Jax.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
One thing I did notice is that nidalee is solely based on skill shot. If you don't land that spear, chances are you're not going to win the fight. Unfortunately, we did end up losing this game because my mom decided to once again request for me to help her do something. It's kind of hard to tell your parents that you can't really pause an online game, but what else can you do? On to the next game. This time around, I kind of had an idea of how to clear with nidalee, so I did have a better start. Also, if you guys keep seeing this name in the following games, this is my IRL friend Adam. He recently started playing League of Legends, so that might have contributed to us winning or losing the games if he fed or he got us into bot lobbies. But let's continue. So after clearing my camps, I decided to gank top lane, and of course, I failed. I totally missed a spear shot, and Nar got away. And when I headed back down to river, Vi caught me lacking, but I used my W and I jumped over the wall and got out. So I was about to recall, and I realized I should go help this Yorick. So I went to go help the Yorick, and we actually got to kill the Vi. So W trade. Later into the mid game, I would say I was pretty fed, and closer to the end game, I was more than 10 kills, and unfortunately, we did end up losing the game. I feel like Vi is really a strong champion, but I would say I did pretty good. On to game 4. Game 4 was terrible. As a matter of fact, we're actually just gonna go on to game 5. I just want to point out the fact that I queued up in draft and I was placed against Emerald and Diamond players. So yeah, that shouldn't be happening. For game 5, I started off on red buff with no leash, and after clearing for a few minutes, I was about to pick up Scuttle Crab, and then Akali rotated onto me, and we ended up getting her. We almost got Kindred, but one of the mini raptors tanked the spear shot, and Kindred got away. And then I ended up dying. So I tried to help my friend in mid lane, and I ended up dying, but at least we got the Akali. Worth it, I guess, in my opinion. But I was already 2 deaths pre 10 minutes as a jungler, and in my opinion, I feel like it's just not worth it to fall behind as jungler. Like, you sometimes just have to play a little bit selfish in order to be able to later carry the game. It all really depends. Maybe that's just not true, but that's just what I believe. It's just my opinion. Like 2 minutes later, I tried to gank Warwick in order to give Cho'Gath the lead, and he ran into our jungle, and we never saw him again. One cool thing that, in case you guys didn't know about nidalee, is that her traps actually provide you vision. I found this out not even because I was playing nidalee, but because I was like watching a 3-minute guide on nidalee, which 100% recommend this channel to anyone who just wants to get knowledge on any champion they just want to try out. I then again tried to gank the Warwick, and I feel like this is where the turning point of the game really hit. I missed my spear shot, and yeah, I got jumped only by the Warwick too. The crazy part that was a 1v3 right there from the Warwick. Like we should have been able to kill him, but I mean I feel like Cho'Gath wasn't pushed up enough. I feel like that's the thing about Nidalee is if you don't land the spear shots, you're just not going to win the fight. Like it's all dependent upon that. But as you can guess it, we did end up losing this game. Despite me dying a lot of times, I still think I did pretty decent considering the fact that I was against a Kindred who had at least 100 matches and was at least a couple of ranks above me. So there's that. On to the next game. That
Defeat.
So on game 6, after doing a 2-camp clear, I tried to get first kill in bot lane. Unfortunately, that did not end up happening. So I cleared a little bit more camps, and after grabbing Scuttle, I decided to gank top lane, and I also failed there. So I went back to farming. So I decided to invade Kane's jungle and take his Krugs. I came out in pristine condition. I then noticed that bot lane was pushed up, and once again I messed up the gank. But yeah, I should have been able to kill her. I'm not gonna lie. The biggest problem that I did notice with Nidalee is like, god damn, bro, the projectiles are so hard to land. Like somehow it has the speed of Morgana's Q, yet it has a radius of the size of a peanut. I then tried to gank Heimerdinger, and I also failed. At this point, I think the video is already spoken for itself. I mean, since you've clicked this video, I think you already understood that Nidalee is a hard champion to play. And I'm not gonna lie, respect to all the Nidalee mains, because although the champion is strong, it's just there's so much you have to do right in order to yield rewards compared to other champions, where it's way easier to yield good reward with little effort. So I guess that pretty much covers the video, but I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I'll show you guys the results for the following 4 matches. So for game 6, I got 7 kills, 6 deaths, and 5 assists, and we did end up losing. God damn it. For game 7, I finished the game with 7 kills, 11 deaths, and 13 assists, and we ended up surrendering.
There's no way.
Defeat.
For game 8, I finished the match with 8 kills, 3 deaths, and 3 assists, and the enemy team ended up surrendering.
Victory.
For game 9, I ended up with 4 kills, 1 death, and 3 assists, and my team decided to surrender. We did have 1 AFK player, but I believe I could have carried this game. Let's go to the final game, game 10. For game 10, I finished the game with 2 kills, 4 deaths, and 9 assists.
Defeat.
Before you click off and continue with your YouTube binging session, I just want to know if I can get some feedback on whether I should upload my League of Legends videos with a higher saturation than what League normally looks like, since I recently was watching my videos and I felt that the saturation was too much. But just let me know down in the comments what you guys think, if I should keep the videos how they have been for the last few uploads, or should I tune it down a notch?